Okay, how did you feel?
Who am I?
Yeah. Can we start with who she is and why she's here?
Please tell us who you are and why are you here.
My name is Rachel Ann Macek. I was Rachel Ann Dike before I got married, and I am the oldest daughter of George Dike II, and he is a veteran of the World War II. He was on Iwo Jima.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How did you feel about him going into the war?
Actually, I wasn't born when he went into the war, but I know that his family was proud of him that he joined, and they supported him the whole time.
What made him want to join the war?
It was what they did, the kids of that age. He was older. A lot of them were 18, and my dad was, I think, I'm probably wrong, but 22 when he joined. It was a patriotic thing to do.
Yeah, okay. So how did your parents feel about him joining the war?
They were very proud. My grandmother had already been supplying troops with knitted things, so they were already supporting them in the way that they could. So they were proud that my dad, and they had another son, my Uncle Mac, he joined also.
So did they serve in the same?
No, my Uncle Mac was a fighter pilot.
What did your parents do for a living?
My grandparents, my grandfather was a farmer, and my grandmother was an English teacher. They lived in North Dakota, in the upper part of North Dakota, the northeast side of North Dakota.
What ship did he serve on?
He wasn't on a ship. He was a Marine. So it's okay. The Marines, I think, I could be wrong, you'll have to correct me on this, but I think the Marines are part of the Navy. Does that sound right? I'm not sure. And I know that he was on a ship to get over to Iwo Jima, but I don't know the name of the ship that he was on.
So did he tell you any of the major experiences he had over there?
My father did not tell us anything about the battles. He told us, there's 6 of us, he told us the fun stories. And I can tell you those if you would like to hear them.
Yeah.
Okay. There's several of them that, he told more than I can remember, but some of the stories he told was on Iwo Jima, and I don't know where in the battle part of this, but the Marines didn't have the best food, and the Army did. So one of the guys dressed up as an Army cadet and directed the Army food trucks to go to the tents of the Marines so they had better food. And then the cook wanted even better food than the Army had. The Navy had the best, and the Navy was out at sea. And so he tore up sheets, and they used a pie tin, and they drew a circle, and then they painted the inner circle red, which was the Japanese flag. So they said they had captured these flags from the Japanese, and they were willing to trade it for ice cream, desserts, and the best food they had. And the Navy believed them, and so they brought over good food, and the sheets with the red paint went over to the Navy, and no one was any wiser until probably a little bit later, but the Marines were already eating well. Those are 2 stories. Another story is they were playing baseball on Iwo Jima, and I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, this would be after all of the major fighting, and the head pitcher, who was very good, he was a professional pitcher, was very badly injured, and so he was in the hospital tent, and my dad's group of men wanted him to pitch so they could win, and so they went in, dressed him up, and smuggled him out of the hospital tent so that he could pitch the games of this, and he did, and they won. So those are the stories my dad told us. The only thing I knew about my dad in the war was that he said it was horrible, but he was glad to, and I learned from my father to support our country because my dad and my uncle and probably many of your relatives fought for our freedom, and that is very, very important as being part of the United States and being a citizen of the United States. These men and women still to this day are fighting for us so that we can live the lifestyle that we're living.